Shana Tova, everybody! It's Miss Lauran here. I'm here with my daughter Simone in our very own kitchen at our home. And today we're going to be making some apple cinnamon muffins for Rosh Hashanah. So first, let me tell you the ingredients that you'll need to make your muffins. This recipe I doubled so that we had enough muffins for everybody in our family. The original recipe yields 6, and I'll post the recipe for 6 at the bottom of this video. But for us, because we have a large family, we decided to double the recipe for 12 people. So here are our ingredients. We have our flour, we have our oil, vegetable oil, we have our ground cinnamon. You smell that?
Smells good.
Smells good. We have our milk, which you can use 2%, 1%, or whole milk. We have our baking powder, our salt, our sugar. We have 1 egg or 2, depending on if you're doubling your recipe or not. We have half a cup or a cup of butter cubed, again, depending, and either 2 apples or 4 apples, depending on how you're doubling or not doubling your recipe. So we also need a standing mixer that'll help you mix everything up. I have a paper towel here to dry off my wet apples. I also have my muffin tin here with my muffin inserts.
Mama, are those paper?
Those are paper, yeah, you can use paper ones. I have silicone ones also, but they kind of stick to the muffin. So you don't have to use these at all. You could just grease the inside of your muffin tin with some butter or some olive oil spray. But I'm gonna put in these in case we want to give any of them out, that the person that we give them to knows that they have a little bit of a paper wrapper there for, just because. So the first thing that Simone and I did was wash our hands, right? Make sure they're nice and clean before we start cooking. Then we preheated our oven to 400 degrees, and it's ready to go. And now we're gonna add in our ingredients, and then we'll see how they turn out. Sounds good?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's follow our recipe and see that the first thing we need to do is to preheat our oven to 400 degrees and to prepare our muffin tins. Check. Check. Did that. All right, now we need to stir in our flour, our sugar, our salt, our baking powder, and cinnamon. So what do you notice about all of those ingredients? Something that's the same about all of these ingredients. Do you notice something that's the same about all of those? What do you think?
This and this kind of the same?
Yeah, I mean, they're all similar colors, right? These are all white, this one's brown, but they're all dry,
Yeah.
right? They're dry ingredients. So we always put our dry ingredients into the pot or the bowl first, and then we mix in our wet ingredients to make it nice and battery, okay? All right. Now, before we start adding in our dry ingredients, we do have one last step of prep that Simone and I wanted to show you. So the recipe calls for 2 or 4 apples to be cored and chopped. We cored our apples, but when I make this recipe, I actually like to grate my apples to make them shaved rather than to rather than to cube them or chop them. I find that easier when I'm mixing them up. It makes them less chunky. So I borrowed Simone's special gloves. These gloves are very safe for cutting or for grating because they don't cut your fingers. So I use this special glove. So if you are going to be grating anything, make sure you have your grown-up with you because you don't want to cut yourself. So be very careful. Okay, so I take my apple and I shave. I'm gonna do one and then I'm gonna give the glove to you, Simone, so you can do the other one while I put in the dry ingredients into the bowl, okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Whoa, it's like fireworks. Apples everywhere. Okay, so there's one. I'm gonna pass my glove off to you so that you don't hurt yourself. And you can do the other apple. Okay, remember to hold it kind of like if, on the side like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You get your hand in there. And then here's your apple. And then when she's done grating, what I'll do is I'll take my paper towel and I'll push it down into the bowl just to absorb any extra water that came off of the apples. Okay, ready to hold your apple? And then you're gonna use this hand to hold the top here and push down. There you go. Shave it up. There we go. All right, well, while you're working on that, I'm gonna start mixing in our dry ingredients. So, here's my flour. It's going into the bowl. And my sugar into the bowl. And my salt. And baking powder. And my ground cinnamon. All right. Depending on your taste, you might also want to add a little bit of vanilla extract. Sometimes that gives it a little extra flavor. All right, so I'm just gonna put my mixer on level 1 just to stir up the dry ingredients a little bit. How are we doing with that apple?
Good.
Almost done?
Underneath it, there's like a split bottom.
Oh my gosh, it looks like a mountain of apple. It's an apple mountain. Okay, that's getting mixed up good. Excellent work, Simone. It's a good workout too, right? Hurts your arms a little bit as you're shaving. All right. Good. You can turn it sideways to the other side now. Like turn it like this. You can hold it that way. And just go up and down. Yeah. Good job. Okay, while you're finishing up that apple, I'm gonna put my towel into the apple shavings and just kind of push down a little bit just to get any extra water. Otherwise, your muffins will take either a long time to cook or they'll come out really mushy on the inside. They won't cook properly because they'll be too wet and heavy. So we want to make sure that we really dampen out our apples. Because as we know, apples are super juicy and they have a lot of water in them. We want to make sure that we squeeze out enough of that so that our recipe doesn't get too watery. All right, Cease, I think that's good. Good job. Okay. You can take off your glove now if you'd like.
Oh yeah, that's the best thing. Wow, my hands are so wet.
Yeah, because the apple juice, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all in there. All right, I'm gonna toss that into the sink. All right. So now that we have all of our apple slices, I'm just gonna take one more paper towel.
Okay.
I'm just gonna dip. Ooh, look at all that water. See all that water, friends? Coming out of there, we don't want that in our muffins. So we wanna make sure that we get it out. You can even dip.
All the water.
Yeah, see, look. That's all the juice and the extra water that we don't want in our muffins. So that is the difference between shaving our apples and coring them. Coring them, you won't have as much water, but it is harder to mix it up. It takes a little bit longer to chop everything and mix it appropriately. Okay, so we've got all of our dry stuff in here, in our bucket. Just gonna show everybody. So there's all of our dry ingredients in there. We're gonna lock our bowl back in place. And we're going to mix together the next things. The oil, the eggs, and the milk. Are you ready? So I am going to pour in the oil and the milk, and then maybe you can help me crack the eggs. What do you think? Yeah? Or maybe you can pour them in. You want to pour them in for me? Go ahead. Here, pour in the milk. And slide your stool over so you can reach.
Well, I can hold it like this.
All right, pour in your milk. Good job. Okay, next is the oil. Good job, Simone. Excellent pouring skills. All right, are we ready to crack some eggs? Ready? Now remember, when you crack your egg, instead of cracking it on the side of this bowl, crack it on the side of a separate bowl, just in case any shell falls out. It doesn't fall right into the batter. It'll fall into the bowl where it doesn't matter. Hey, that rhymed. Here you go.
Matter, batter.
Matter batter. All right. Do you remember how to crack an egg? Do tap, tap, tap on the side, and then open it up.
Okay.
Let's do it. Tap, tap, tap. A little harder, a little harder, a little harder. Don't be afraid. Give it a good tap. Good tap. There you go. Now stick your thumb in and pop it open. Ah, good job.
Wow.
All right. Shell is out. Yep, no shell. Ta-da. Okay, now can you pour those in?
Here.
Good job. Nice work.
Mom, that looks pretty weird.
It does look a little bit weird in there, right? But it won't once we mix it, and you'll start to smell all the flavors coming together. Okay, the next thing we have to do is we have to fold in the apples. Now, a lot of times when you see fold in a recipe, people get very confused. All that means is to use a special tool. I like to use this one. It's like a rubber flat spatula. And you're just going to put your apples in, and then as it's mixing, you're literally just going to fold like this, like you're folding a shirt or a towel. Just pop off.
Yeah, pop off a little bit.
Okay. We can fix that. Oops. There we go. Okay. Now, first we're going to start mixing. Mix, mix, mix the batter, mix the batter, mix the batter for Rosh Hashanah. Looking good. Doesn't that look much different now?
Mm-hmm.
All the colors are coming together, all the flavors are coming together. Ooh, I wish they had smell-o-vision. Don't you wish everybody in the television had smell-o-vision? That smells really good. Now, let's make it a little bit faster so we can get the piece on the side. Sometimes your ingredients fold up onto the side, so you just have to make your mixer a little bit heavier or a little bit faster to grab the edges.
Or you could just slow it down
Or
and
you-
use that and carve it out.
Good thinking. You can do that too. You can slow down your spinner and just take a spatula or a spoon and kind of mix it up. All right. Now, we're going to start fold. Ooh, look at that. Yum, yum.
It kind of looks like a smoothie.
It does look like a smoothie. You're right. It does. It does. All right, so I'm going to fold in my apples.
Wow. I wonder how these muffins gonna look like.
I wonder too. Mix.
Hope they don't look bad. Whoa.
Just a slow mix.
That's cool.
Yeah, and then we're going to take, once we get everything in, I'm going to mix it by hand because I'm going to do my folding.
Wow.
Yeah.
That make me so good.
Well, let's find out. Let's find out if they taste.
Oh, smell them.
It smells so good, right? All the flavors of this fresh apples. Okay. Smells yummy. Okay, so I'm actually gonna take this part off.
Yeah. Toss it in the sink or something.
Yeah.
I'll toss it in.
Thanks. Unlock my bowl, and I'm just going to fold and fold and fold.
Hey Mom, can I fold one?
Yeah, let me just get this part on top, and then you can absolutely fold. Just like you're folding a piece of paper, right? You'd start on one side,
Make the air.
and you'd turn it over, right?
Make a paper airplane.
Like if you were making a paper airplane, right? So if you watch me, see how I'm folding like that?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not a mix like this. You're not mixing, right? You're not chopping, you're folding. So you're taking it and folding it over. Folding it over. Folding it over. Okay? You try. Okay, while you're doing that, I'm gonna tell my friends about the next thing. So to make our little crumble on top of our muffins, we have our butter. We're gonna need some sugar and some more flour and a little bit more cinnamon. So I'm gonna grab those ingredients while Simone is folding. great folding. Here's my cinnamon. I have my butter. I need my sugar and my flour. Yes. Sugar and my flour. There's my sugar. And I'm gonna grab my flour from the pantry. How you doing over there, Simone?
Good.
Good folding?
Yeah.
Excellent. That looks really great.
You see some apples in there.
You can. You're going to see some apples in there because when you bite into your muffin, you're going to be able to have little chunks of apple in there. All right, I'm going to get rid of this spatula.
That's my new spatula.
It is from your cooking set, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And here's what we're going to do. We are going to ladle. Now, here's how okay. So we're gonna ladle
How do you ladle?
just like this. We'll take a little ladle and we're gonna put it into our muffin tins.
Is it called whoopsie-daisy?
Sure. You say, oopsie-daisy. This might actually, because these are tiny muffin tins or paper, whatever's, that we might actually have some batter left over, which we can save. Well, if you have extra batter, you can really make anything with it. You can make an apple cinnamon cake with your leftover, or apple cinnamon bread in a loaf pan, you know? You can make a bunch of mini muffins if you want to give them away, you know?
Yeah.
What are some other traditions that we do? We celebrate with family, right?
So
That's a big one. Whenever there's a holiday, you celebrate with your family. You have your family over, you have a special dinner, right? Maybe you say some special prayers or blessings. So that's what Rosh Hashanah is all about too. Look at all this extra batter I have. Whoa. So maybe I'm gonna throw this into a loaf pan and we can make, I'll show you what a loaf pan is. This, my friends, is a loaf pan. This looks like a loaf of bread. Yeah, so I am actually,
like a piece of apple bread?
yeah, like a piece of apple bread. Exactly. So what I'm going to do is I got some extra, so why not? Spray a little olive oil spray. I'm gonna pour the rest of my batter into my loaf pan. Why not? Right? That's gonna be delicious. Okay. Now, watch your head. Now I have a loaf and I have muffins. So I'm ready to put those in the oven. What do we need? Safety first.
Gloves.
We need our oven mitt, right? We never open the oven or touch anything near the oven without our oven mitt. So I'm gonna pop these into the oven. Let those bake up. I'm gonna put my loaf pan in there too. We got double delight in there. Double delight. Sounds good, huh? Okay. Get rid of that. All right, now let me look through my recipe again and make sure I have enough, and I want to make sure what time I put my muffins in. I don't want to leave them in there for too long. So we want to bake for about 20 to 25 minutes. Okay, so I'm going to set my timer for 20 minutes.
15 minutes.
Okay, so because it said between 20 and 25 minutes, I did 22 minutes. And we'll check it, okay? So now I'm just gonna rinse out my bowl, and then we're gonna put our crumble ingredients in. What do you think the crumble is, Simone?
The butter.
Yeah. That's gonna be delicious, right?
Butter, see?
That's gonna be the special topping that we use to sprinkle on top of our muffins. It's gonna be really, really yummy. So, Put our butter down in there. Okay, butter's in. Then we need half a cup of sugar.
Half a cup of sugar.
So let me grab my tool here.
Mom, what's this?
Oh, that's an egg timer.
What's an egg?
For when you're making eggs. Hard-boiled eggs.
Any type of eggs?
Hard-boiled. Okay.
That's enough.
That's enough? Let's see. Yeah, all right, put that in. There's my half a cup of sugar.
I sprinkled it everywhere.
Good job. Thank
Now
you.
we put snow.
It does, you're right. It does look like snow. All right. And we also need 1.5 teaspoons of cinnamon. I have a half a teaspoon here. So,
Can I put it?
yeah, so I have to change my recipe because I need 1 teaspoon. I only have a half, which means I need 2 of these. There's 1. Okay, here's another one. Okay, that's my 1 teaspoon. And now my half. There you go. Perfect.
Let's put it over twice.
Okay. And then I just need my 1/3 of a cup of flour.
Doesn't that smell good?
It does. It's the cinnamon that smells so delicious, right? Doesn't that smell so good?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, let me just see my measuring here. Okay, dump that in. All right. Now, we're gonna put it back onto the mixing stand.
Let's see.
Lock it in place. Is it locked in?
Mm-hmm.
We need to put our actually we could use any mixer really.
Can I shut it, Mom?
We'll try this one.
What's this?
What's what?
This.
Oh, this isn't working. What do you mean? That's how we mix everything. This? Oh, this just makes it tighter. Okay, ready? Put that down in there. Can you turn it on for me?
At what number?
Oh, let's start at number 2. All right, we just want to get it a good mix, otherwise it just goes and splatters everywhere. Right? Okay, so we're gonna finish making our crumble. Then our muffins will be ready and we'll come back and show you what they look like, the final product. See you in a few. Hey everybody, we're back with our apple cinnamon muffins and our apple cinnamon cake. So our crumble didn't really go as planned, did it, Simone? No. What we forgot to do is that we doubled the butter part of the recipe, but not the sugar and the flour part of the recipe. So what happened to our crumble?
It got all mushy.
It got all mushy, so it wasn't much of a crumble at all. And mushy and what?
Sticky.
And sticky, it was too sticky. So instead, we decided we're gonna have a little honey with our apple cinnamon muffins. What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Let's,
Thank you.
you're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Get ready to taste.
All right, let's peel our paper. Peel your paper off
I
first,
have no
Liz.
room.
Peel your paper.
Mom,
Here's yours. Hold on, don't eat it yet. Don't eat it yet.
mine's gonna broke.
It's okay if it breaks a little bit. Let me help you.
Mom's getting good. Smells really good. Mine's a bad one.
There you go.
Mine's
All
bad.
right. Now, here is our secret ingredient, our honey. Should we put a little bit of honey on there, Layla?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think she wetted it already.
It's okay. She's excited. Okay, here we go. Ready?
Honey.
A little bit of honey. You want some honey on yours, Ruby?
Yeah.
A little honey on yours? Honey on yours. I'm gonna put a little honey on mine.
A lot of honey.
Ooh, extra honey from honey. All right. What do we say on Rosh Hashanah?
Thank you.
Shana. What do we say? Shana Tova. Shana Tova, everybody.
Everybody.
Have a happy, sweet New Year.
How's the